He was a very good student at Rangiora. He was, sort of top of the class and had a lot of friends and bits and pieces like that. So going to high school for him was sort of going from the sort of top of the class to going to the bottom again, and he really struggled with that. And one of his friends the first year of high school had a bit of difficulty with that and actually took his life, and that sort of rocked Jesse a lot. He struggled with high school because of the numbers. He's lost a lot of communication with his friends and sort of got disconnected with them, and he didn't like the first year. His attendance was okay, but not sort of great. Like on a Monday, you knew that for some reason that he didn't want to go to school, and he come up with some excuse, but it was an underlying thing where me and his mother didn't really know what the problem was, but we actually found out later on that it was just like the struggles of school, that he didn't really want to go. So he got through that year, and then when he was 16, he pretty much said, that's it, I'm done with school. He didn't attend. His attendance was not great at all. I talked to his head of house, I talked to the attendance lady, I tried to get a lot of help to actually get Jesse to school, but we went down a lot of avenues to do that, and it didn't really work until when he turned 16 in September. He didn't even go at all. So I sort of was running out of ideas to what we could do with Jesse, and then I was lucky through his head of house. I heard about the community college, so I got in contact with Faye, and we decided it was sort of the last throw at the dice type thing for a young man going forward, because there's not a lot of options after that. So we signed him up for the Emerge class, and I think for Jesse, this is the makings of him. Having to actually be responsible for his own timekeeping. If he didn't want to go to school, he would have to actually get in contact with Brooke. So he had to be responsible for himself. The biggest thing with him is pushing himself out of his comfort zone. Academically, he's very, very knowledgeable. He's a very bright student, so that wasn't a problem. But what was a problem is like the things that Brooke would organise. He would probably talk himself out of trying to do it, but Brooke said, come on Jesse, like let's do this. And he just grew from term to term to term. He feels very comfortable with what he can do in himself, but when he actually has to push himself further out of his comfort zone, that's when he becomes a little bit apprehensive about trying to push forward in that. And that was one of the biggest things that I think he learnt from term to term as well. For me, like, Brooke has done a tremendous job, and she's done it in a very kind way as well. There was no sort of Jesse, bits and pieces like that. She done it in a kind way, which worked for Jesse. Now he got the Student of the Year, which I'm very, very proud of him doing that. But he's done it himself as well. He's pushed himself out of that comfort zone to get to where he is now. And it's not been easy for him to do that. And he's got to take a lot of confidence doing that, not only for now but for the rest of his life, because a lot of teenagers or a lot of young people, they don't see the big picture of life. They see the now. But if you look at the picture a few years down the track, then it does you good in life. It's great for students that really struggle at high school. High school's not for everyone. I just wish that I had known about it before I did, because it would have been great. But now I know that it's available and stuff like that. I recommend it to any young man or young lady that really struggle with school. There's a lot of help there now for young people, like especially with the community college and bits and pieces. So you've always got a bit of a backup plan for young people going forward for what they want to achieve in their life. It's for people that have really struggled with high school. and there's a lot of intelligent young men and young young women there as well, and they'll exceed as much as you going to high school as well. The college has done Jesse amazing. I can't thank Brooke and Faye and the team enough for what they've done for Jesse going forward for the rest of his life. So I really thank them for that. Yeah.